The spotlight effect: why we think everyone is watching us. Imagine walking into a crowded room and suddenly realizing that your shirt has a small stain on it. Within seconds, you may become convinced that everyone around you has noticed the imperfection and is silently judging you. In reality, however, most people are unlikely to pay much attention at all. This common psychological phenomenon is known as the spotlight effect, a cognitive bias that causes individuals to overestimate how much others notice their appearance, behavior, or mistakes. The concept of the spotlight effect was first explored by psychologists in the late 20th century. Researchers discovered that people often feel as though they are standing under a bright spotlight, visible to everyone around them. Because we are constantly aware of our own thoughts, feelings, and actions, it is easy to assume that others are equally focused on us. Yet the truth is quite different. Most people are primarily concerned with their own lives, worries, and responsibilities rather than carefully observing those around them. One of the most famous studies on the spotlight effect was conducted by psychologists Thomas Gilovich, Victoria Medvec, and Kenneth Savitsky. In their experiment, participants were asked to wear an embarrassing t-shirt featuring a singer whom many students considered unfashionable. After entering a room filled with other people, the participants were asked to estimate how many individuals had noticed the shirt. Consistently, they believed that a much larger number of people had observed it than was actually the case. The study demonstrated that individuals tend to exaggerate the amount of attention others pay to them. The spotlight effect can influence many aspects of daily life. Students may hesitate to answer questions in class because they fear making mistakes in front of their peers. Employees might avoid presenting new ideas during meetings because they worry about appearing uninformed or inexperienced. Even social media users can experience the spotlight effect when they become overly concerned about how others will react to a photograph, comment, or personal opinion posted online. Modern technology may have intensified this psychological tendency. Social networking platforms encourage people to share details of their lives and monitor the reactions of others. As a result, some individuals begin to believe that every post, photograph, or message is being carefully evaluated by a large audience. In reality, online users often scroll through content quickly and devote only brief moments of attention to any particular post. Nevertheless, the perception of constant observation can contribute to anxiety and self-consciousness. The spotlight effect is closely related to another psychological phenomenon known as the illusion of transparency. This occurs when people believe that their emotions are more visible to others than they actually are. For example, someone giving a speech may feel extremely nervous and assume that the audience can clearly detect their anxiety. In most cases, however, the audience notices far fewer signs of nervousness than the speaker imagines. Together, these cognitive biases reveal how easily people can misjudge the perspectives of others. Although the spotlight effect is widespread, understanding it can be beneficial. Recognizing that other people are generally less attentive to our mistakes than we assume can reduce unnecessary stress and increase confidence. It may encourage individuals to participate more actively in discussions, try new experiences, and take reasonable risks without excessive fear of embarrassment. Psychologists often suggest challenging negative assumptions by asking a simple question: will anyone remember this a week from now? In many situations, the answer is probably no. The spotlight effect offers an important lesson about human perception. While it is natural to believe that others are paying close attention to our actions, the reality is usually far less dramatic. Most people are navigating their own challenges, concerns, and ambitions. By understanding this tendency, we can free ourselves from unnecessary self-consciousness and approach life with greater confidence. In a world where many individuals feel constantly observed, the spotlight effect reminds us that the spotlight is often much dimmer than we think.